Hello, and welcome to our I2 tips and tricks video to accompany issue 15 of our Shortest Path training newsletter. We're going to look at two tips and tricks today, one in Analyst Notebook and one in iBase, and that will be using our iBase training database that we use for our training courses. What I've got here is Analyst Notebook, and we've got it open inside our Amazon workspace, which again are classroom tools that we use to run our online training courses. So we'd like to have a look at the grading system available in Analyst Notebook. For that, we need to go into Edit Chart Properties. There's several ways you can do that, but I'm going to right mouse click on the back of my chart and choose Edit Chart Properties. These are global settings for your charts. There's a lot that we can change in here. Inside definitions and the grading system, here we have the breakdown of the three-part grading system inside Analyst Notebook. The default is set to the older 5x5x5 intelligence grading system, but we can change that. If we want to, we could change it to almost any grading system that you might need to use. We can delete entries from each grade. If I click on delete here, I can clear all of the entries for all three of the grades. And what we can do is enter the more modern grading system, which is 3x5x2. And it's as simple as clicking on new and adding in the new entries. So this first one I'll put 1, 2, 3, and then I'll add a dash just so I can have no grading if I don't want to have any grading. For number 2, I'll do A through E, and again, just a null one. And for grade 3, we've only got 2 grades to add, so I'll put those 2 in, and then the third null one. So as soon as I hit OK, that will save it to your chart properties. We can test that just by adding any entity. When I open it up and go and have a look at description and grades, we can see in here it's using the new grading system that I've added. It's important to note that if you want to use this different grading system on other charts in future, you need to save it to your template. Details on how you can do that are actually at the end of our previous tips and tricks video, number 14. So if you'd like to know how to save things to a template, you can go and have a look at that. Our next tip and trick is in iBase. So I've already opened iBase up. If we go and have a look, this is our iBase training database. So it might look slightly different to yours in terms of the entities and links available, but that's because we need a wide variety for training. We'd like to look at how to make an in-list query. And this is a specific kind of query for what's sometimes called washing data through your database. In this database, we have some telecoms data, some phone numbers. We'd like to check if some phone numbers are in our database. I've got this notepad file open, and in it you can see we have 20 numbers in fact. We're going to check to see if any of these 20 numbers are in our iBase database already. I want to show you this file because it's really very simple. We've got no extra formatting, nothing special at all. In fact, we want to keep this data as simple as possible to avoid any issues or errors. I'll close that. In our query, which I've just opened from the Explorer over here, we want to add a telephone, because that's what we're interested in. And then up the top here with our fields, we're going to say we want to look at the telephone number. The operator to choose is in list. And then we need to double click on the value 1 box. Now here we have a couple of options. We can either say use a text file, like the one I've just shown you, to look for a series of bits of data, or we can list the values ourselves, put them in manually. We'll show you this one first. I'm going to browse to that file that I just showed you. It's called telephone target numbers. Once it's got the location of the file, we can hit OK, and you'll see it put it here in the value box. All we need to do then is hit results. Here are our results. We find 10 phones. So what this means is, out of that list of 20 phones that I just showed you, 10 of them already exist in our iBase database. It's also important to note that when it does an in-list query like this, it's looking for exact matches. So it's only going to find results where the data exactly matches that which you've asked it to find in the list. It won't do any kind of fuzzy search. If we go back, I'll show you how we can look for an in-list in a slightly different way. If I delete what's in value 1, instead of using a file, I might want to add some values here. So I'll just type in a few numbers. We'll put 3 in. And we want to find out if any of these 3 numbers are in our database. You'll notice here up in the value, all it's done is put a pipe in between each of the numbers, a pipe symbol. We'll hit results again. And we can see that one of those 3 numbers does in fact exist in our database. All right. As always, we hope you've enjoyed these tips and tricks that we've shown you in this session. If you'd like to know more about the types of training that we provide, then please don't hesitate to contact us. You can see our email there, and also check out our website. On the website, we have all previous issues of our newsletters with more tips and tricks in them. Thank you.